I was born and raised here in Otatahi. My mum is Vui Suli, and she hails from the village of Leova'a. She brought me up single-handedly with the support of her siblings. I was baptised by my uncle and auntie because she didn't have a partner. There was a lot of discrimination towards her as a single mum. We had a very strong upbringing in the church. The church was her community. So I guess coming over to New Zealand, they affiliated with the Samoan community and within the church here. You know, I knew from an early age that I was different. You know, I would look out, but there wasn't anyone that fitted my needs as a Samoan gay man or a gay person back then. And religion does have a big part to play. You know, we're told to be inclusive of everyone, whatever flavour they are. But I experienced that trauma. There was a time through high school, through religious education, but also through youth at church, where we were taught that homosexuality is a sin and that you've got to repent. So I think for me that was quite a time where I really felt I needed to pray the gay away. From there was the name calling. Whawhawhine and whahatama in Samoa is our gender identity term. You know, as a young child being called whawhawhine, I felt that I was put into a box. It made me feel quite sad that I was called names to that extent. You know, even the name pufta and fag as well, faggot. And so having those names thrown at you, yeah, it hurts the individual, and it takes them potentially to those dark places. I was looking at ways to hide who I really was. But really, when I reflect now as an older and wiser head, it actually did a lot of damage to me, physically and emotionally. I know there were a couple of times that I kept asking God, why do I have those feelings? Why can't you just make me straight? Why can't I be normal? I tried to be so manly, or I tried to put on this persona so I didn't get teased because I was different. So I tried to be one of the guys, one of the lads. So I played league. You know, I became this strong person on the outside, but inside, it was eating me up. But my family are so important in my journey. So I came out to my mum and my siblings really early in my life. However, it never was public. I never mentioned anything in the public arena. And it wasn't until, I guess, having a bit of a profile within Les Mills, within the airlines that I was working, people found out my sexual orientation, and Christchurch is a small city. When we talk about Pacific Rainbow Plus, a group that has so much potential, but we come with our own vulnerabilities. And so I see ourselves as the most vulnerable of the vulnerable. We cover a whole spectrum of gender fluidity, sexuality, but I still see that even today, in today's world, we still have that stigma attached to being outside the norm. So if we're really true to ourselves, you know, and we really want to make a difference, then it's about respecting one another, regardless of who they are, who they love, who they serve, what they do. It's about being respectful and acknowledging and uplifting one another.